Hello everybody and welcome to Sunday Morning Knits, my channel where I talk about all the things I'm knitting, spinning, and designing lately. Today I have a very fun episode for you. We are going to talk about everything I knit in 2025. Please forgive me if I'm looking down. I have my iPad in front of me here with all of my notes and stuff of everything that I knit. I realize that my iPad might die. We'll see. We'll see how far I can go with my iPad. I have Ravelry and stuff like pulled up in front of me so that I can see everything. But we'll see how long that lasts. Okay, so I'm sorry that this video is coming to you kind of late. I know most people tend to get these up in like late December, early January, but it's been a rough month for me. So we're doing this now. And I hope it's not too late. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is I know that most people try on their like garments as they go. I'm not going to do that. Some of you may know, some of you may not. I am a spoonie, and that will take too many spoons. So I'm going to hold them up for you, show them to you, but I'm not going to be like changing in and out of them. Okay, let's talk about some statistics first. So in 2025, I made 13 pairs of socks. Some of those were gifts, and a handful of them I only made one. And the reason I only made one is because for my designs, I often only make one sock. I'll point those ones out when I get to them. In terms of tops and sweaters, so this includes vests, t-shirts, and sweaters, I made 11 garments, which is insane for me. I have not historically been a garment knitter. So that is absolutely wild. One of them I do not have because it is a store sample and it lives in Los Angeles. I don't know why I drew a blank. It lives in Los Angeles in a yarn store there. I made one blanket. I do not have this blanket. I'll pop in a photo somewhere. I made this for my little baby cousin. Oh, Maeve, are you gonna make noise? Wow, very silent kitten. No, don't do that. I made a blanket for my little baby cousin, and I actually just recently gifted it to him. I got to meet him. He's 4 months old and the cutest thing on the planet. So I'll pop a picture of that in here. I made 2 pairs of mittens. One of them was a gift and one of them is for myself. I made one hat. That was also a gift. That was a gift knit for my dad for Christmas. It's a musselburgh. My favorite hat pattern. I love the musselburgh. Oh my gosh. I made 2 hoods. I made 1 cloak. I made 2 things that I put into the other category, and we'll talk about those as we come to them. And I made 2 shawls. So overall, it was a gigantic knitting year for me. Part of that is because I finished school in June and then I did not have a job until yesterday. So that was 6 months of just time for me to sit at home, apply for jobs, and knit. So that heavily contributed to my giant pile of knitting for this year. Okay, the first thing on my list, the first thing that I made in 2025, I don't have because I finished it on like January 1st and it was my dad's very belated Christmas present. Whoops. So that was just a pair of like really basic socks. I'll pop a photo in here. The next thing that I finished in 2025 is behind me, and that is my EOS slip over. So this was my very first garment design. I did this as part of a collaboration with the wonderful Emily of Tea Cozy Yarn Shop in Seattle. I designed the pattern for the Puget Sound yarn crawl for her store. This is such an incredible opportunity, and I'm so unbelievably grateful for Emily for asking me to do this and having the faith in me that I could do this because I had never designed a garment before. But yeah, it was absolutely a dream come true. So I knit this in hedgehog fibers in the colorway Teacup or something like that. And then the contrast color around the arms and the neck here is Paisley Knits. It's a bright pink from her summer collection and I can't remember what it's called. You can find this on my Ravelry and my website. I think it's on Etsy too, but it's definitely on Ravelry. And I'm so, so proud of it. I love, you can actually see in the light here, you can see the texture on camera really nicely. And I'm just so proud of this. It was a dream come true. It was my only garment pattern released in 2025, but I have several sweaters coming up in 2026. So keep your eyes peeled for that. This was so much fun. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I knit this on US size 6 needles, so 4mm, and I made the size 7 for myself. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna throw everything on the floor. Whoops. Okay, the next thing that I finished in 2025 was the Achilles socks. Now, one of them is blocked and the other one is not, so I'm just gonna show you the beautiful Achilles socks, the blocked version. So, oh, come on. Why aren't you going to focus? Oh, there we go, kind of. So this is a pattern that I designed. This was a collaboration with Olive Heavy Knits. That'll be a theme for 2025, just like it was in 2024. And this was for her book club collection launch. That happened, I think, in February of 2025. This was knit with her Song of Achilles colorway. Song of Achilles is one of my all-time favorite books, so this was obviously inspired by that, using the Song of Achilles colorway. This was so much fun. I loved doing the like cables down the back and the lace down the front, and honestly, like, the color is so beautiful. There's a little tag attached to it because I sell my patterns at like fibre fairs and stuff, and I bring this as a sample so people can see, so that it just has like the information on it. I finished the second Achilles sock like super late in the year. Because I only did the one, because I normally only knit one sock for my patterns. The next thing that I knit is related, and that is the Patroclus socks. So the Achilles socks were lace and cables fingering weight, and the Patroclus socks are cables DK weight. So this is a very cozy cable DK weight pattern, and you'll notice it features the same cable going down the front and the back of the sock that the Achilles sock has going down the back, because Achilles and Patroclus were lovers, and I wanted to have like a repeating motif between the two of them. This also uses a Paisley Knits Book Club colorway. This is the July Club colorway, which was, I can't remember, but it was the July. I know that. These ones are so squishy. I love them so much. I need to make myself another pair so that I can like wear them, because I can't really wear the samples that I make, because like I might need to photograph them again in the future, or I might need to take them to like fibre fairs as samples for my patterns, so I don't really wear them, unfortunately, but I need to make myself a second pair so that I can, because they're so cozy. Okay, the next thing I did, or I finished, was a pair of Christmas socks that I had intended, obviously, to finish for Christmas in 2024, but did not. These are my 2024 Christmas socks. They are a self-striping sock set from Yorkshire Spinners, West Yorkshire Spinners. And I did these slightly differently than I normally knit my socks. So I did afterthought heels, or I guess forethought heels, because I like put waste yarn in. So I knit the cuff using this like cream color, and then I knit the socks using like just as a tube with the self-striping yarn, so that I wouldn't like interrupt the self-stripingness. And I put in some waste yarn where I wanted the heel to go, and then I knit the heels after the fact. I completely forgot to wear these this Christmas. I had totally planned to. And also, I still haven't photographed them. On my Ravelry, it's just like a blank picture, because I don't have them done. I'm questioning whether this is the correct order. Oh yeah, it totally is. It totally is. I'm like, why is Ravelry showing me them in this order? Yeah, because the beginning of 2025 was me finishing up 2024 projects. So the next project that I did was one that I started in 2024. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention this at the beginning. I'm counting projects, even if I did the majority of them in 2024, if I finished them in 2025, they count as a 2025 finished object. So for example, the sweater that I'm wearing, which we'll talk about in a bit, I did the majority of in 2024, but I finished it in 2025, so it counts as a 2025 object. That's also important for these guys. I did most of these in 2024, but I did not finish them until 2025. These are the Paisley Knits August Book Club colorway from 2024. As you can tell, 2024 was a year of me trying to finish up my 2025 was a year of me trying to finish up my 2024 sock club. I did not. Spoiler. I knit 10 of the 12 sock sets from 2024. So I have 2 left, unfortunately. That's fine though. This was the August Club colorway. And for these ones, I did like a ribbed sock, like just a ribbed leg. Oh, I don't know. Oh, because it's focusing on this. That's annoying. Okay, Newt's Commander is going to come off the wall for the purposes of this video. Okay, I did a ribbed leg, and then I did a cute little ribbed heel flap, which I had never done before. And then the bottom of the foot is in stockinette, and you can see there's some really cute little stripes right before the toe in that like lemon yellow color. Love these. One thing you'll notice about all of my 2024 book club socks is I have only worn 2 of them. And the reason behind that is because I want to get a photo of all of the 2024 sock set patterns, all the socks from the 2024 sock set together before they get all kind of worn and gross. So I actually haven't worn them. And obviously the ones that are patterns of mine, like the Achilles socks and the petiteknit socks, probably won't get worn. But these ones definitely will, and I'm very excited. Okay. The next thing that I finished was my first sweater. Sweater, not like sweater vest, but sweater of 2025. And that was my Doppio sweater. Now, I did the majority of this in 2024 as part of a knit along with Marlene and Casey of Young Folk Knits and Catherine Searsberger, and they're all so lovely, and it was so much fun. But I did not finish it in time. Unfortunately, I finished it in, I think this was about February of 2025. I knit this with 2 strands of merino from Sunday Fibre Co., the Kindred Fingering, in the seawater, saltwater colorway. It was an archives colorway from 2024. And 1 strand of white Surrey alpaca. So you get this beautiful, like, it's not really showing up on camera, but it's like this blue and light blue and white marled, and it is the softest thing on the planet. I have depilled this in the past, but only like once or twice. And so there are some like pills on the sleeve, but honestly, I think this is my most worn sweater ever. I wear this like 3 days a week, and I have for a year, and I've depilled it twice. Like, it has held up so incredibly well. The one thing I wished when I had finished the sweater is that I had actually made a size smaller. It turned out a little bit wider, and like the yoke was a little bit deeper than I expected, and I ended up cropping the body quite a bit. I mean, honestly, I still had a fair bit of yarn left over. I probably could have kept going. But I was expecting it to stretch a little more than it did. I kind of forgot that it wasn't superwash fingering. It was a non-superwash. So it hasn't really stretched out at all. But this is truly one of my most worn sweaters of all time. I absolutely have plans to make another Doppio. I have yarn for it. I'm very excited. But I just love this, and I love the light blue. I think it's just so pretty and so soft. I wore this when I went and met my baby cousin, and I was holding him, and he seemed to really like how soft it was, which was very sweet. It was so cute. Oh my gosh. I knit size 7, I think, for this, and I do wish I would have knit a size 6. So the next time I'll do the size 6. I'm very excited. 2025 was also fun because I convinced my cousin to knit her first sweater, and she knit a doppio, and that was so sweet. We had so much fun together doing that. Highly recommend the doppio sweater. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh, I'm sorry, Maeve. The next thing I knit, I actually don't know where it is. I think I left it in LA. Oh, Maeve, don't bonk the tripod, please. She was very sweet and like curled up against my back this morning, which was adorable, except it was preceded by like 5 straight minutes of her scratching my back, like, which was very annoying, but then you were very cute. Yes, I love you too. Sorry, cat interlude. The next thing I knit, I don't think I have it here. I think I left it in LA. And that is the Ribka pouch. I'll pop a photo in here because I do have one. I really loved this project. I think it was really cute. But I do wish that I had knit it slightly bigger because I had intended to like stick my AirPods in it, but my AirPods kind of pop out. Like it's not quite big enough for my AirPods. So, oh well. That's fine. But it was very cute. I used a little bit of Gormenghast by Grenouille Co., which is a Canadian yarn dyer, and I think a little bit of white Surrey alpaca that was left over from my doppio. I think that's what I did. It was very cute. Highly recommend. This was on my Make 9 for 2025, but we're going to talk about my Make 9 at the end. Okay, the next thing I made the next thing I finished was this absolute beauty. I call this my jacaranda sweater because it is the color of jacaranda flowers. Now, one of my favorite things about living in LA was the jacaranda trees. The first time I saw that, I thought it was just the most magical thing in the entire world. And when I bought this yarn, it did not click that it was the color of jacaranda flowers until I got it and I started knitting with it, and I was like, ho ho ho, I see. So I knit this with 1 strand of Butterfly Pea from Paisley Knits in the fingering weight, and 1 strand of Lavender Blue mohair from Knitting for Olive. Sorry if you can hear the jingling, that's my cat. Pardon me. This pattern is the No Frills sweater by petiteknit. I knit the size 3X, which is the biggest size available in the pattern. I hope that petiteknit goes back and adds more sizes to this pattern because it's a very well-loved pattern by most people, and I know that she is going back through her catalog and adding more size-inclusive sizes. But at the moment, it is important to know that this sweater is not size-inclusive. I knit it because I had it in my pattern library. I try very hard not to knit size-inclusive patterns. But unfortunately, I wasn't aware of that for a long time, so some of the patterns that I have are not size inclusive, which is really unfortunate. But I have hope that petiteknit will go back and fix this pattern to add more sizes. Overall, I really love this pattern. I wish it was slightly longer. Like, I ended up cropping it because I ran out of yarn. I think if I were to make this sweater again, I would actually knit the 2X and make it longer. A big theme of 2025 was I accidentally, for the sweaters that I didn't want to be super oversized, I ended up making really oversized because I think my proportions are a little bit different in that like my bust to waist ratio is a little bit wild. Like I have a 50-inch bust, so that's normally like a 3X. Or like a size 7 if you're going on like a 9-point scale, but my waist is a lot smaller. So I think that the 3X size doesn't fit quite the way I want it to if I want more of like a close fitting sweater. Whereas if I want like a big oversized sweater, obviously I'm gonna go for that 3X because it's gonna like fit nice and oversized. I wanted this one to be a little bit more close fitting, and it came out fairly oversized, which is totally fine. I think it's still really cute. I like tucking it into skirts and shorts, and I think it's adorable, and high-waisted pants. But I think next time I'll knit 1 size down. But overall, yes, I really love this pattern. I don't know if I can say I recommend it because it's not size inclusive, but I do really enjoy wearing it. This combination of it's a superwash merino, fingering weight, and soft silk mohair from Knitting for Olive has held up so well. There's like 2 pills on it. I've never depilled this sweater. I don't wear this a ton. I really should wear it more often because it's such a unique color and I think it looks really good on me. But yeah, I don't think I made any modifications. Oh, and I knit this with the recommended needle size, which I think is a US 6, so 4 millimeters. Big fan. I used 4 skeins of yarn, which was amazing. 4 skeins of like the fingering weight yarn, which was wonderful because sweater quantities can sometimes get up there for a bigger girl like myself and cost a lot of money. Granted, adding a strand of mohair also makes the sweater cost a lot, so. Okay, the next thing I finished was my Sunshine Tea by Andrea Gone Knits. This was, oh, hold on, sorry, let me fix this. There we go, ta-da! My Sunshine Tea. I knit this in Knitting for Olive in the merino fingering. There are fuzzies on it. It's a little bit wrinkly from just being in my chest of drawers. I knit the size, did I write it down? I knit the size F, and next time I will go down a size. Again, knit it too big. It's like, I wanted it to be like the recommended ease and it came out bigger. Not my gauge issue. I think it is my body. And I don't want to say it's a my body issue. My body is not an issue. I mean, I just picked the wrong size for my body shape. This pattern is amazing because it has bust shaping. So that's why I am super confident that I can go down a size and do the bust shaping and it will fit beautifully. This sweater, or this shirt already fits beautifully and I do wear it all the time. My only qualm with this is I knit it too short. I still have a little bit of this yarn left over. This is the Poppy Rose colorway and I think it's sitting on my floor. I have a plan to rip out my binding and like use up the rest of my ball of yarn for this and lengthen it. I think I'll just wear it more if I do that. But I really love how this turned out. I think it's just the most perfect like t-shirt, classic. I don't want to say it's plain because it's not. It's like, it's plain but it's elegant, you know? And I really love that. Also, it was the most satisfying knit ever. Just the combination of the merino, Knitting for Olive merino on ChiaoGoo needles, because I use ChiaoGoos for this, was so sensorially satisfying. Like it was amazing. So despite the fact that it's teeny tiny yarn on the tiniest possible needles, I loved every second of it. And I'll definitely do the bust shaping again. That was wonderful. Yeah, overall, like 10 out of 10. I love this project. The only thing is I wish I'd made it longer. Highly recommend though. Andrea Gone is such a wonderful designer. I love all of the things that she does. And I definitely want to knit like 10 more of these. And I have the yarn for it too. I need more time. I need more time. Okay. The next thing I finished was, wow, I finished 3 like top/sweater projects in a row. That's crazy for me. The next thing I made was my Stornoway sweater. Now this was actually the first of all of the sweaters that I've talked about where I started it in 2025 and finished it in 2025. Both my no frills sweater and my Sunshine Tee were actually started in 2024 and then finished in 2025. But I started and finished this one in 2025. This was part of the Stornoway Sweater Squad. Yeah, Stornoway Sweater Squad Cal that is held by those twins who knit, Rachel and Jessica, and Casey of Young Folk Knits. So why is there a stitch marker in here? I wear this sweater out. That's hilarious. Okay, just gonna remove that. Whoops. Yeah, this was part of the Stornoway Sweater Squad Cal. It was worsted weight, which is insane because I have not knit a worsted weight project in so long they go by so fast. It's insane. I knit size, oh, I didn't write down the size for this one. Can't remember. I did modify this by adding an extra repeat to the body because I found that it was way too cropped following it to pattern. And I actually had to go back and rip out the sleeves and add like a whole extra repeat to the sleeves as well. This was an interesting pattern. I have a lot of thoughts on it and I wasn't super happy with it in the end. Pattern wise and yarn choice wise. Yarn choice wise was my fault. Pattern wise, the designer made some choices that I would not have. No shade to the designer. I love her. She's wonderful. But I have a few critiques about this particular pattern. If you want to check that out, I'd recommend going back and watching my podcast episode on it because I talk about that in depth. Now, one of the things I realized part of the way through knitting this sweater is that because it is a single ply yarn, it is going to pill like crazy. And it has. And not only has it pilled, it's kind of just gotten like fuzzy. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but it's like fuzzy in not a good way, you know? And that is 100% on me for choosing the yarn. I used Malabrigo worsted. I had the olive color in stash, and that's why I chose it, because I wanted to use that up. It was a vacation yarn that I had bought when I was in Asheville, North Carolina the year before. And I don't know, I don't really like how it's worn, so I don't really wear this sweater out in public. I just kind of wear it around the house. It's kind of like a cozy winter house sweater. I will say it is so unbelievably warm. And that's been really handy being back in Canada for the winter. So yeah, pro, it's very warm. Con, I had pattern issues and I don't like the yarn, but oh well. Not every project can be a win. It was so much fun to do this as part of a cal with those twins who knit and Casey. It was very sweet. I did enjoy that part. And I had never knit anything from Coco and More Knitwear. So that was also very cool. Okay. What is next on my Ravelry queue? Oh my gosh, we still have a long way to go. Okay, the next thing I finished was the April Yarn Club sock from 2024 Book Club Yarn Club by Paisley Knits. I actually have worn these, so these ones are a little bit fuzzy, a little bit stretched out, but they just matched my outfit so well one day that I was like, I have to. So these are so much fun. These are just a very plain sock with a heel flap and gusset. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this. I do a 64 stitch sock. Sometimes I make the ankles wider if I'm going to be making them really tall because I have like wider calves, but these aren't very tall at all. So I just did 64 stitches and 2x2 rib on the top. So, oh, my face. There we go. I'm sorry that the lighting is so terrible. Unfortunately, the lighting in my room is not great. So we're side lit. Okay. Oh, and then the next one that I finished was another 2024 Sock Club pattern, or Sock Club colorway, and these are the June socks. I love these. This combination of the like light blue and pink was just so freaking cute. I couldn't handle it. I did something slightly different for these ones, and I did a tubular cast on the top. Oh, gotta hide my face. And I won't do that again. I like how a long tail or a German twisted cast on just gives the sock a little bit more structure around the cuff. Obviously the tubular cast on does not. So I won't be doing that again, but it was fun to kind of like test that out. Also, like I said, this yarn is the cutest yarn I've ever seen. So I cannot wait to wear these. I need to finish my 2024 socks so I can take that photo and then start wearing them because I wear the crap out of my socks and it's so much fun. Okay, another sock next. This was the 2024 Yarn Club December colorway, and I remember that this one was inspired by the book Migrations. And I only have one of these because this is a pattern. These are my EOS socks. I love these socks so much. I just love how the lattice turned out. These are designed to match the EOS slipover, so it's kind of the same. It's a similar pattern with like the lace leaves in the middle of some of the, I'm sorry that my camera's having so much trouble focusing. Lace leaves and lace flowers in some of the diamonds, and then like the lattice goes all the way around the ankle. And then it comes to a point down at the toe. I love this pattern so much. Yeah, it was so much fun to make, and just so much fun to do. So I only have one of those because it's a pattern, but I did really love the AOS socks. You can find those on Ravelry. Ooh, the next sweater that I finished was my Sasky by Wei Chin Chan of Sasky & Co. This, I have a lot of things to say about this sweater. This is another sweater that I've worn a ton, like once a week, maybe slightly more in the winter. I just throw this on all the time. First off, I love bunnies. Bunnies have my heart. I used to foster them. I used to have one. I am such a bunny welfare advocate because people mistreat bunnies so much. I love them. So when I saw this, I was like, I have to make this. I knit a size bigger. I think I knit the size 8 because I wanted this to be really oversized, and it is. And I like that. I like how it fits on my body. There's like 10 inches of positive ease on my body, which I love. The neckline has stretched out a lot. I did the narrower neckline and it's huge on me, which I'm okay with. I think that's fine. I'm debating adding like elastic into the neck just to kind of pull it back in a little bit, but overall that's fine. I made the choice, and I don't know why I did this, but I made the choice to do the narrow sleeves. And I really regret that because I think the like tight sleeves, oversized body doesn't look really good. That was a mistake. I should not have done that. I have debated ripping the sleeves out and reknitting them because I still have I think I have 2 skeins of this yarn left, 3 skeins. Sorry, I'm picking pills off of it. So I'm debating doing that. I haven't decided. I wear this so much that like at this point I'm kind of over it and I don't really want to rip it, but I might. Now for this pattern I used Cascade 220 and I used the sport weight. This sweater is a fingering weight sweater, but when I swatched with fingering, I just didn't like how it was turning out. It was kind of gapey and you could see my floats and I was like, So I just went up to sport weight and I got gauge and it's beautiful and dense and you can't see my floats. Now, this was my first time using Cascade. Is that true? Yeah, this is my first time using Cascade and it pills a lot. I'm not using the superwash. This is the non-superwash. So if you don't like pilly yarn, I don't think you're going to like this. However, I still really like this yarn. I think it's been a fantastic workhorse yarn despite pilling. Like the yarn still looks great. I just have to like shave it every 2 days kind of thing if I wear it like every day. But I don't have a problem doing that. I also have like I carry a little tiny pill shaver with me in my purse. So sometimes I just do it when I'm like on the train kind of thing. And I've had no issues with that. I really like it. It's also very affordable, which is amazing, especially if you are a bigger girl like myself. Finding affordable yarn for sweaters is always fantastic. So great color range. It pills. Still great yarn though. Highly recommend. Also, I highly recommend Wei Chin Chan's patterns. I have test knit a whole bunch for her. And I love them all. They're amazing. So that is my Sasky sweater. The next thing I knit, I don't have. This is the sample of the AOS slipover that I knit for Wild Fibre Studio in Santa Monica, Los Angeles. So you can go check that out if you want to see it. It was a lot of fun to have another sample, to make another sample. It's way smaller than the one I made for myself. So it knit up in no time at all, which was wild. But still a lot of fun to make. Oh, I knit that one in Lana Grossa Eco Puno, which was really cool. I've never used that yarn before. And it was a very light DK, so that particular version of the AO slipover came out very lightweight, very flowy. It was really cool. I really liked it, and I definitely want to knit with that yarn again. That was amazing. Okay, the next thing I finished was my Petra scarf. This was a collab with the absolutely lovely Eula of Wool and Twine Fibre Studio. I love her so much. She is such a sweetheart. And we've collabed on a couple things since, kind of in the same Petra pattern. This is a pattern that I released, I think, in September, and has rapidly become my best-selling pattern. It is a kind of like a scarf shawl recipe, so you can use like leftovers and scraps or however much yarn that you have, and I give you instructions for how to do that and how to like adjust the pattern so that you can use exactly how much yarn that you have. It has a very delicate I-cord edge. It's like a 2-stitch I-cord edge. You can't really see that, so that it doesn't interrupt the waffle stitch pattern at all. And it's just so beautiful and squishy. The waffle stitch is just so much fun. I love this pattern so much. I wore this dog sledding over the winter. Over Christmas break I went dog sledding, and this plus my Petra hood and the Petra headband all together kept me very toasty in very cold weather in the mountains. And it was wonderful. I knit this with Eula's heirloom fingering weight yarn, but the pattern itself is written for fingering, DK, or Aran weight yarn. Also, you could technically modify it to even include like sport weight or whatever, but I did mine in fingering weight. Her heirloom yarn is so beautiful. I want an entire sweater quantity's worth, and someday I will get one. Actually, I don't know if she has any heirloom right now, but if she brings it back, I'm gonna buy an entire sweater's quantity because it's beautiful. The next thing I finished were socks. These are my Tiny Human Knits Scrappy Quilt socks. So this is a self-striping yarn that I got from Tiny Human Knits, who's a Canadian dyer, and I just adore these socks so much. I wear them all the time. I think they're so unbelievably cute, and they're holding up really well. I didn't use a particular pattern for these. I just did a 3x1 rib on the top and then my normal 64-stitch sock. Love them. These are the first, I think, socks that I knit in 2025 that I was actually wearing, because the others have either been book club or patterns, so it was nice to have a pair of socks that I could wear. Okay, the next ones that I finished were my Selene socks. So this is another pattern of mine that I released in the winter. They are a worsted weight cable sock. I knit these with Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino, which I know is not a sock yarn, but I still really like using it for socks. I know a lot of people are afraid to use yarn for socks that doesn't have nylon in it, but my advice is get a high twist sock if you can, or high twist yarn if you can. Knit it at a really dense gauge, and that'll help it last a lot longer. In my experience, socks without nylon, sock yarn without nylon, can last just as long as socks with nylon in them. It just depends on how you knit them. So really tight gauge matters. The twist matters. Don't use single ply. It has to be like at least 2 ply, at least, preferably slightly more. Don't use single ply. Make sure it's got a good twist and knit them really dense. and they should last you a while. But yeah, my sleevey socks, really love them. I knit this one in dark blue, and then the other one is in cream color. Yeah, I really love really thick socks, so that was a lot of fun. I actually designed these socks years ago, and only just released them, so it was really nice to finally release them. Yeah, I really love those ones. I don't really have much more to say about them. The next thing that I finished was a pattern that did not come out until very recently, and that is the Artemis cloak. So this is a cloak pattern that I knit. I'll pop in some photos actually so that you can actually see this and not just me like awkwardly hold up this very large floppy garment. This was a collaboration with Lauren of Little Fibre Co. And it was a dream come true. She even did a little mini collection for this, for the launch of this pattern, with some stunning yarns. It was such a dream come true. We'd been working on it together for a year. We started in January and the pattern came out and the yarn was launched in December. So it was a labor of love for both of us. Obviously a DK weight cloak pattern is a lot of knitting. My testers were so wonderful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is out in the world, which is crazy to me. I can't believe it, but it's been such a labor of love. Yeah, the Artemis cloak. I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Oh my gosh. The next thing I finished was another collab pattern that went into testing immediately because both of these were released in December. And that was the Scorned Women shawl. So this is a beautiful shawl pattern that I knit in collaboration with Coley of Paisley Knits for her winter New Year's countdown box, which is inspired by the women scorned in Greek mythology. So each one of these is one of the colors from the box, and there's a texture pattern associated with each one of the colors representing the woman behind the colorway, and it fades from one color all the way down to the last. So this was designed for an 8-color fade in fingering weight yarn, but it is fingering weight held double for a DK weight shawl, so that you can fade the strands. So the way that you fade it is when you come to the end of one chart, like there's instructions in the pattern, of course, but basically you cut one of the 2 strands and you add in the next color. So you have one strand of the new color and one strand of the old color, and you knit with that for a while, and then you cut the like old strand of the color and add the second of the like new strand. So then you have like 2 new strands, if that makes sense. There's better instructions in the pattern. I swear I wrote the pattern better than I explained that, but I love this so much. I think this leaf lace in the middle is my favorite. You can't really see it, but it's this guy. I'm so happy that I can finally wear this. I do realize, so this pattern came out for people who got the box in December, but it was like, it's now available for sale on Ravelry as of January 2nd. So much fun. I absolutely love this and I want to wear it all the time, but I couldn't wear it because the colors were a secret until December. So now I can finally wear it. This pattern is great if you want to test out like different textures, because there's so many different textures in it. It's a lot of fun to do. The next pair of socks I do not have. This was actually the very first thing that I knit with my hand spun. So I hand spun the yarn for this project and then I knit the socks, and they were a gift from my dad for his 60th birthday. My mom is also getting socks. Actually, she's getting mittens. I had intended it to be for her 60th birthday as well. I had like the yarn mostly done for her birthday, but I hadn't actually knit the mittens, so she's gonna get the mittens for her birthday this year. Spinning for a project takes a long time. It takes longer than I expected. So yeah, but anyway, these were some hand spun socks that I gave to my dad. Yeah, I really love them. He really loves them. I'm really proud of them. They were the most consistent spin I've ever done. So I was really happy that they turned into socks. And my dad is gonna love them. Okay, the next thing I finished was the baby blanket. This was actually not a knitting project. This was a crochet project, and it's my only crochet project of the year. This was a very simple granny stitch blanket. My Nana made blankets like this for all of us. So I thought it fitting to continue the tradition and make this kind of blanket for the newest addition to our family. Yeah, it's 100% acrylic so that the baby can, you know, drool on it and drag it around and get it all dirty like babies do. And then it can be easily washed and dried. So I used Red Heart Super Saver, and crocheting with it was a nightmare. I hated every second of working with that yarn, but then I threw it in the wash and the dryer and it came out so soft. And I was like, I made the right choice. But it was horrible to knit with. Just truly terrible. Or to crochet with. It was truly terrible. But it came out really nicely, and that's what matters. Yeah. That pattern is really fun because you can like stick your fingers in it. It's pretty great for that. The next thing I finished was my basket weave sweater. This is the Corshaven sweater by Petiteknit. This is unfortunately another not size inclusive pattern. So if you want one similar to this, I recommend the basket weave sweater by Andrea Gahn. It's very similar. And it is size inclusive, but I started this in like 2022. So this sweater takes the cake as my longest whip ever. I started this in lockdown. We were still in lockdown, I think. In the city that I was living in Canada. Moved it with me to Los Angeles, and then didn't finish it in the 3 years I lived in LA. Finished it when I moved back to Canada. What an adventure this sweater has been on. I knit this in Knit Picks. My favorite, the Eco one, the Eco wool in one of the cream colors, and one strand of the Aloft mohair in the colorway Oat. So it's got this beautiful like goldish kind of sheen. I think it actually kind of matches my hair really nicely. The only thing is, I don't really like how this sweater fits me, and I can't really figure out why. It's just, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I still like it. It's very soft. I enjoy wearing it. I don't know. I can't describe it. Definitely, I think I've only worn this like twice since I finished it. I don't know. It's soft. I just don't like the way it looks on me, you know? And I don't know why. I need to think about that more. But, Corshaven sweater, Petiteknit, longest whip ever. And I'm so glad it's done. Oh my gosh. I knit this on the recommended needle size. I can't remember what that is because it's been so long. But I'm very happy with it. The next thing I knit was my first iteration of the Petra hood. I don't know where that is. I have no clue. But I knit it with a beautiful yarn from Fibre and Friends in North Carolina. It's this beautiful, soft, oh my gosh. It's not cashmere, but like it's like the softest yarn I've ever felt. And it was a Christmas gift for my boyfriend. And I love it. And the hood is so soft, and it's smaller because it's kind of like my first iteration, but I still really like how it fits. I think it'd be perfect for like layering when it's like really, really cold, like layering that and then putting like my actual iteration of the Petra hood, which is somewhere around here. Oh, I'm sitting on it. Over top of it. I think that'd be perfect. The next thing I did after that was my actual version of the Petra hood. Ta-da! It is this one. I have since added some ties to it to kind of help. I just wanted to change up the style a little bit. So with the accord ties, I can like wrap them around my head and have like a little cute bonnet moment, or I can tie them kind of looser and have it be like a proper hood moment, which I really love. I love the versatility of this pattern. It was so much fun, And again, this is heirloom 4-ply, but held triple for an Aran weight, in the Petra stitch, with yarn by Eula. It was another one of our collabs. So much fun. And yeah, this kept me nice and toasty while dog sledding, which was great because it was pretty cold in the mountains that day. So, ta-da! My Petra hood. I cannot remember what size needles this is knit on. It's knit at a very dense gauge though, because like you want it to be dense to like keep the air out and like keep your ears nice and warm. After that, I knit the Petra socks, which is a pattern that is forthcoming. I think it'll be coming in February. Again, another collaboration with Eula, this time using her Ovis sock, which is hands down one of my favorite sock yarns ever. Oh, we have a little cat distraction. Hi. Hi. I love you. Do you want to say hi to the camera? You have elevator butt? You want to say hi? This is Maeve. Say hi, Maeve. Mwah. Are you gonna... Oh, she's just gonna curl up on my lap. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Okay. I have a lap cat now. Yes, the next thing I knit were the Petra socks using Eula's Ovis sock. This pattern will be coming, I think, in February. I'm very excited. I really love waffle stitch. And these socks are so unbelievably cozy and so cute. So I'm very excited for them to be released into the world. Ooh, after that, I knit the Scorned Women sock. This was the sock pattern for, again, Coley's countdown box to 2025. I did not design them in the colors of the box. I knit these in her Lord of the Rings colorway. You can find out why in my vlog of designing these, which was a lot of fun to do. And the pattern that goes down the front here matches one of the motifs in the shawl. That beautiful like leaf lace. I love designing socks, if you can't tell. Okay, the next thing I finished was a garment. This is my Ivy top by petiteknit. I hate this. I have talked extensively about this in my podcast, so I won't go into too much detail, but basically I hated the yarn so much. It's pure linen. It was my first time working with pure linen, and it was an awful experience. And because I was so sick of working with this yarn and I hated it so much, I didn't properly check my gauge, so the top is way too big. Like 3 sizes too big kind of thing. Maybe not 3. 2 sizes too big. So I haven't worn it and I really hate it. My friend has suggested I throw it in the dryer and see if that shrinks it, because it is linen. But I haven't gotten around to doing that yet because I hate even looking at it. I might just give it away. I knit the size 3X like I normally do for petiteknit patterns. And normally I'm right on gauge. I use the needles that she recommended. I usually meet petiteknit's gauge no problem. Not this time. Not this time. Okay, moving on from the bane of my existence. This was hands down, this is my flop of 2025. I detest this pattern. The drape is so beautiful. I detest it. It's Antigone by Demerem Nachero. That was my flop of 2025. I know they can't all be wins. They can't all be wins, but that one was definitely a flop. Ugh, I hate it. The next thing I knit was the Petra headband. Mine is all stretched out and worn because I wore it all winter while I was in the mountains. Oh, hiding my face. This is a free pattern that I released on January 1st. So you can find this for free on my Ravelry. It is a waffle stitch, once again, headband with a cute little twist. I used heirloom 4-ply by Wool and Twine Fibre Studio, held double for a DK, and it is the perfect stash buster. I think I used like 20 grams for this of the yarn. And the pattern is customizable to your head length. So I have instructions for like how to measure your head, how to do the math kind of thing, to make the perfect size headband for you. That was a nice, easy, like quick pattern. I really enjoyed that one. And yeah, I released it for free. I wish you could hear this because my kitten is purring in my lap. This is so cute. Oh, I love her so much. The next thing I finished was a themed knit, which is not something I normally do, but I knit Halloween socks. So this is the October Colorwork Cuff Club pattern by Summerly Knits, combined with the February Cuff Club pattern for this little like frill. And I did it around, or like little kind of like scallop color change, and I did it around the toe as well. I used Fairy Godmother, that's the colorway, by Moondrake Fibre Co. as this like neon tweed nep, and then a dark purple skein of yarn that I got from a dyer at a fibre festival here in Calgary, and I can't remember who or what the colorway was. Sorry about that. I did modify the chart, so instead of doing 3 color work, I just did 2, and the ghost's eyes and little mouth are also purple instead of them being black. I loved this. This is so cute. When I saw Summer Lee do a similar version, or like a similar kind of thing on her podcast, I was like, I have to do that. And I whipped these out the week before Halloween. And then I wore them on Halloween, which was so much fun. I have never done anything like that before, like a themed knit. I had started a themed knit prior, but I hadn't finished it yet. So this is my first complete themed knit, and I just thought it was so cute. Like, look at those little ghosties. It was so much fun and so cute to do. Oh my gosh. Oh, the next thing I knit was a pair of mittens, and this is for the waffle along that I held in conjunction with Songbird Handmade, who is absolutely lovely. We both discovered that we loved, and we're releasing a whole bunch of waffle stitch patterns, so we decided to do a waffle along together, and I knit her beautiful waffle mittens. This is a very old Explore Knits and Fibre colorway in a fingering weight yarn held double. I don't remember what the color was because I got it like 6 or 7 years ago, and I had been saving it for like the perfect mittens, and then I found these and it was so perfect. I don't know where the second one is. It's somewhere in my room, but it is missing, so hope I can find those. But so cute. I loved them so much, and I actually ended up knitting a second pair of these mittens and gifting them to my boyfriend's mom for Christmas. I'll pop a photo in because I obviously don't have them anymore. That one was using a Life in the Long Grass colorway. I can't remember what it was called, but I picked it up at my local yarn store here in Calgary, and I thought it was so cool that it had like come all the way from Ireland. I was like, that is the greatest thing ever. But yeah, love them. So cute. Kept me nice and toasty in the mountains this winter. Yeah, loved them. This kind of makes me think of like gingerbread for some reason. I don't know why. I love it though. I really have to blow my nose, but I have a cat on my lap, so I guess I'm just not doing that. Because I can't disturb this sweet baby. The next thing I knit was just a pair of like very basic house socks, and I knit them because I was vending at some Christmas markets in November and I wanted to sell some handmade socks. So I knit this pair of like little shorty socks, and I used Cascade Heritage held double, so it came out at like a DK weight. They're super cozy. I really like them. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's like a market to like sell handmade socks. The problem is, like, they're quite pricey because they're handmade, so I don't know. We shall see if I experience some more markets. I know this video is getting really long. I promise we're getting there. We're getting close. There's 4 things left. The next thing that I finished is actually what I'm wearing, and that is the Ingrid sweater by petiteknit. I have been working on this sweater for years. At this point, I finished this in November. I only had the sleeves left to do. Like, I had finished the body in like January. And I have talked extensively about this pattern on my podcast. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I really love it. I really love how it's turned out. I knit it in superwash, so it's stretched out really nicely. It did not like overstretch or anything like that, which is great. The one thing is I messed up when doing the shoulders. So one double moss stitch section is way smaller than the other. So it kind of like pulls my collar funny, but I think it's only something a knitter would notice. Like, no one has ever commented on it. I didn't even notice it until I'd been wearing it for like a week. So I think I'm safe. Ow! Don't bite me. My cat bit me. Okay, if you're gonna be in a bitey mood, I'm going to kick you off. She doesn't like it when I'm like talking with my hands and like flapping my hands around. She tends to bite me when I do that. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna blow my nose. Okay, back to the Ingrid sweater. Yeah, I really like how it's turned out. I'm glad that I cropped it. I think it turned out really nicely cropped. Like, it fits me really well. I like how it's stretched out. Again, this is another one that I wear quite a bit, probably once a week. No ma'am, I'm not gonna let you back into my lap if you are going to be in a bitey mood. She's walking by. Yeah, so I'm really happy about this. The only thing about this sweater is I have to wear a t-shirt under it because the eyelets go quite low across my bust. So we're like right through the center of my bust. So I always have to wear a t-shirt. I like to wear a lot of my sweaters like next to skin. Can't with this one. But that's fine. That's not a problem. Overall, it's been a great sweater. So highly recommend this one. I knit this one, by the way. I knit a 2X in this one, not a 3X, because it's superwash, so I knew it was going to stretch out. I knit it with lichen and lace beetroot, and I had to do a lot of color management. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but like the body is like a different color from like the sleeves. So I had to do a lot of color management, but I think it turned out fine in the end. I don't think it's like awful. But just be aware, again, if you're making a sweater with hand-dyed yarn, you need to do color management anyway. But yeah, it's my Ingrid sweater by petiteknit. I really love it. The next thing that I finished was my other themed knit, and that is my holly sweater by Knitting for Olive. I have been working on this for a while. There is a pull. Okay, well, I'll have to fix that later. This is the holly sweater by Knitting for Olive. I used Knitting for Olive yarn. I actually bought the kit from them. And the one thing I changed about the kit color is the merino main color. Instead of being sky, I switched it to cloud, so it would have a slightly more pink undertone. I thought I had switched the merino, or I thought I had switched the mohair, but I guess I hadn't. So it's only the merino that's in the sky colorway, and the mohair is cloud, but you can't tell. And I think it gives it a slightly more pinkish undertone, which is good because I have very pink undertones in my skin. I think it's just a little bit of a better colorway for me. But yes, I love this. I wore this all Christmas. I was so happy that I finished it on time. I will say the baubles were hell because I hate 3-color color work. Not because I hate baubles, it's because I hate 3-color color work. And I saw other people do ladderback jacquard for that, and I wish I had done that. 2-color color work is my jam. 3-color color work is the bane of my existence. So I will avoid 3-color color work in the future, and I knew that going into this project, but I made an exception because I have wanted this sweater for so long. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. It got a lot of wear over Christmas. It's not blocked. I like finished it and just immediately started wearing it. So I need to block it. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. I love it. I knit the size 3X again. And this one, it turned out with like the perfect amount of ease. So I was very happy. Nice and oversized, nice and warm, nice and festive. So I'm so happy with this one. The next thing I knit was a Musselburgh hat. I knit my fifth Musselburgh hat as a Christmas gift for my dad. I don't have that anymore, obviously. I have gifted it, and I don't have a photo of it because I finished it on Christmas Day and immediately went downstairs to give it to him. I also did not finish my brother's Christmas sweater, and I feel very bad about that. But I'm working on it now. I had like the body done, so he like opened, I like wrapped the body and like he got to open that on Christmas, but didn't have the sleeves done, and so I'm working on the sleeves now. I feel a little bit bad about that, but my brother is very gracious and understands that knitted gifts take a lot of time. So the very last thing that I finished in 2025 are my Saint Valentine's socks. I only have one. Again, it's a pattern, so I only have one. This will be coming out at the end of this month. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm not quite sure the date when this is going to come out, but it will be coming out at the end of January so that you will have plenty of time to knit yourself a pair for Valentine's Day. I knit this with the Valentine's Day sock set from Sunday Fibre Co. from 2024. My testers are using all sorts of beautiful pinks, so I cannot wait to show you all of the colors that they're using. It's just so beautiful. And that was my last knit of 2025. So the last thing I wanted to talk about really briefly is goal setting. So in 2025, I did a Make 9 and set a whole bunch of goals, and like 2 months in, I was like, this is a mistake. I felt so much pressure to only knit the things on my Make 9. I was like beating myself up if I was working on things that were not on my Make 9. And like, as somebody who was really focusing on designing in 2025, obviously those things weren't on my Make 9, so I felt really bad working on my designs, and I just hated it. So about 5 months into 2025, I was like, I'm gonna completely ignore my Make 9. I'm gonna pretend it didn't happen. I had originally planned, I think, to film a Make 9 video in 2025, and I didn't. Like, I ran out of time. And then by the time I was like ready to film the video, I was like, oh, this might have been a mistake. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my Make 9, but if you follow me here on YouTube, I don't think I ever mentioned it. But it was such a mistake for me. Like, I'm so happy for people who can do a Make 9 and have so much fun doing it and love setting goals for their knitting, and it brings them so much joy, but I am not one of those people. I tried to be in 2025 and it kind of made me unhappy. So halfway through 2025, I was like, nope, no goals. Knitting is only vibes for me. I'm such a mood knitter. Like, I have to be in the mood to knit something, you know? I'm the same way with food. Like, I have to be in the mood to eat something in order to like want it. Such a mood knitter. I'm like that with reading. I'm a mood reader. I can't have a TBR and just like work through it. It's like based on my mood and what I'm feeling, and yeah. So I'm the same way with my knitting. So 2025 goals went out the window. I am setting one goal in 2026, and that goal is to work through stash yarn. I have a lot of beautiful sweater quantities. I have my 2024 sock club that I have to finish, like 2 left, I'm almost done. I have my 2025 sock club that I want to work through, and that is a beautiful sock club from Sunday Fibre Co. I'm getting the 2026 Sunday Fibre Co. sock club. That might be a 2027 goal, but my only goal in 2026 is to work through my stash. I'm not giving myself a specific goal. I'm not saying don't buy new yarn. Obviously, I'm going to want to buy new yarn. I just want to work through at least one of the sweater quantities in my stash. And I've already started. I started a sweater with one of my stash sweater quantities. So we're already on track. And that is fantastic. But that is my only goal. Yeah. That's it for my 2025 wrap up, I think. I love watching these videos from other people, so I hope you have enjoyed watching this. I know this has been really long. This is over an hour already. So if you have made it this far in the video, thank you so much. You are so wonderful. I really appreciate it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can get more videos like this. Please let me know down in the comments what you worked on while you watched this video, or if you knit any of the same patterns that I did, and if you liked them, disliked them, whatever your thoughts were. I'd love to hear. Thank you so much for watching this today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and happy knitting. Bye!